Speedrunners, where the fastest gamers from around the world all come to try and break some world records. Today we have Stefan from Denmark.
I am 22 years old. I started speedrunning Mario Kart 64 in 2013. I acquired the world record at that point in October of 2014. This is world record! Yes! It was pretty crazy because in my head when I got the world record, I didn't think it was possible at first for me because I hadn't been pushing that hard yet. I was in disbelief at first. Then I couldn't sit still. I had to walk up from my chair and my room started to get really warm all of a sudden. I was kind of just yelling, yes, I did it. Oh my God! It was really fantastic experience. I'm shaking, right? I can't believe that just happened. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. I have a 4th place right now in Mario Kart 64, and I feel like I could definitely rebound back and get the world record. I want to put in the time and show that I can be the best.
This is Speedrunners, the show where we acknowledge a different way of gaming. We celebrate the gamers who dedicate thousands of hours to find the fastest possible way to complete a game. And we're going to go through some of the biggest games in the speedrunning community, and on each show we will try and beat a world record. We have Stefan from Denmark, who is a former world record holder in Mario Kart 64. Stefan, absolute pleasure to have you here. So, what's the goal today? Well, Stefan will be trying for 2 new records, his personal best and of course the world record as well. And for a game that usually takes a couple of hours, you can see it won't be easy. How are you feeling about today's challenge?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I think I'm going to do well. I've been practicing a lot, and I'm, very set for the challenge.
Throughout this show, we will have exclusive highlights from Stefan's run, and we'll have him share his tips and tricks as, most of all, we need to see him explain how he gets through the game as quick as possible. But I'm getting really excited. I can't wait to see how it goes. Let the speedrun begin.
Straight off the bat, pretty big jump incoming. There we go. Pretty much jump over the wall by using DK. For some reason in the US version of this game, there is no solid on that wall, so you can jump right through. And it skips into the tunnel below. Around half of the lap is gone. And yeah, that's pretty quick.
That's pretty quick, you said.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty confident after that start?
Yeah, it was the kind of start you kind of want. For this one, it's definitely the option that you want to happen. It can go really wrong, and you can lose a lot of time right from the get-go.
You never want to lose time as a speedrunner.
No,
as well.
Definitely not.
And how important is it to get a good start then, right from the get-go?
I'd say the first 15 minutes of this about 30-minute run is the most essential almost. The ending is really difficult as well, but you can really grind the beginning for a good start.
Well, let's see if you can have a good get-go. I can't wait to get going. It's Mario Kart 64 today on ESL Speedrunners, and we have Stefan showing us some new ways to beat the game. When we come back, we find out if he's on track for a new record.
Yeah, I think it's possible. And honestly, I think I do have a pretty decent shot at beating my time.
Mario Kart is one of the classic titles for the Nintendo, with more than 115 million copies sold of the different versions. But for those of you who have never tried the thrill of racing around a dirt track as a Toad or an Italian plumber, here's a quick intro. Mario Kart 64 is a 1996 go-kart racing game developed for the Nintendo 64. The game was the second installment of the Mario Kart series, where players compete in go-kart races, controlling characters from the Mario franchise. The game consists of 4 cups, with 4 tracks in each cup. And in each of the cups, the levels increase in both length and difficulty. The main feature of Mario Kart racing games is the use of the various power-up items obtained by driving into item boxes laid out on the course. And these power-ups include mushrooms to give players a speed boost, green, red and blue Koopa shells to be thrown at opponents, and banana peels that can be laid out on the course as hazards. For some, it may seem a bit trivial to speedrun a game that was already designed to be completed as fast as you possibly can, but the speedrunners of Mario Kart 64 quickly discovered the hidden gems of glitches. By exposing and exploiting these skips, the speedrunning community has taken this iconic racing game to new heights. Now, everybody probably thinks they know Mario Kart 64 by now, but I think today they're going to learn a lot more, Stefan.
Yeah.
How difficult, first of all, is Mario Kart 64 to speedrun?
Well, there's kind of two different ways you can speedrun it. I'm doing the skips category today, and there's the no skips. I'd say the no skips, which is basically no glitches, is a lot easier. You can drive through just kind of the normal way. It's not really that rough. Of course, going for the world record can be difficult. But this category, the skips one, is really, honestly, it takes many hundred hours just to kind of perfect the things you have to do.
You speak about glitches, then what are glitches within Mario Kart?
Well, glitches in Mario Kart is kind of doing unintentional things, jumping over walls, jumping through walls, maybe kind of abusing the way the lap counter works in the game, can all be considered a glitch.
And where does RNG come into this? Random number generator, of course. It's very prominent in the newer Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
Is that the same case back with Mario Kart 64?
Not as much, I'd say. Well, in the speedrun, of course, you need good luck to do a good run. In certain parts, there's just some things that you need. If you play with your friends in the Mario Kart 64 game, it wouldn't matter as much. The game is a lot more kind of friendly in that sense. But for the speedrun, the random factor matters just a great... Some of the items are maybe 20% chance of getting, and 1 in 5 chance. If you have to do that in a perfect run, you might have to reset a couple times.
It seems like better chances than some of the other games that I've known to be speedrun, though, so at least you can take that RNG out a little bit.
Yeah, it's not as bad as some other games, for sure. It's still there.
Well, let's take a look at the splits then. Look at the different tracks, and we've got some of the most important tracks in the game.
Yeah.
Where are the funnest glitches or the funniest glitches throughout Mario Kart 64?
Ooh, well, it's over here, one they call Frap Snowland. I'd say that's maybe the funniest for the average viewer. It's just really fun because you don't really have to necessarily do anything amazing. The map is just kind of broken on its own, and it's really easy and it's funny to look at, yeah. It seems weird at first, but trust me, you go into this wooden bridge and you jump into the snow without touching the ground. And when you cross the finish line here, it will put you back onto the bridge and skip an entire lap. It basically thinks that you finished the lap because you crossed the finish line, but then because you didn't touch the actual ground for a while, it will put you back down an entire lap ahead. So this track is about 30 seconds long, and it's already done now.
I mean, that's just absolutely unreal. All that help from, is it Lakitu?
Yeah.
As well, picking you up. He seems to be a part of a lot of your glitches. Have you ever thought about, like, making a shrine for him at home and worshipping the god of Lakitu?
I've thought about it, for sure. But also at times it can be really annoying if he messes you up. It can happen in the run, so it's kind of a hit or miss kind of shrine.
How did you discover a glitch like that?
It was discovered a long time ago. A basic one, if that makes sense, like this one, has been known for maybe 20 years at this point almost.
20 years?
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that when I was 5 years old. Maybe that would have helped
easier.
out, me beating my big brother or something like
For
that.
sure, yeah.
How do you think the game developers feel about glitches like this? I know we're going back quite a long time.
They kind of want to see it as art and for people to enjoy it. So I think they don't really mind as long as people are enjoying it. But at the same time, they kind of have this feeling that their creation is being misused. I think some of them care. Kind of newer developers are more kind of open to it.
Real talk then.
Yeah.
Would you actually use these kind of glitches against your friends if you were playing against them?
Yeah, I think I would. Maybe to just annoy them, but if they said, this is not fun, I won't play with you anymore, then maybe I'll just beat them really hard the normal way.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they have already played you, do they just refuse to flat out play you ever again? They're like, no, Stefan's just going to cheat again. We don't want any of that happening.
I've definitely had those friends in the past. No joke that they've been like, I just don't want to play you. I just know it won't be fun. And I don't know. It can still be really fun. I honestly mean that. But of course, I'll still be winning.
You will still be winning. Maybe I'll be able to take you on and see if you can use some of those glitches to try and beat me. But I think we've learned enough tips and tricks. I think we might have to dive into some more highlights, but not just yet. We're going to take a short break. to Speedrunners. We're here with Stefan, aka Flippy O, a former world record holder in Mario Kart 64, and today we're hoping that he's going to retake that throne. Now, I'm really excited for the next highlight, the red shell wall jump. I think this is defined by RNG, so let's see how you got off.
Sure. Okay, that's lucky. And now I need to execute. To set this up correctly. So you can jump over this wall, and now I'm already in first place. I have to do this 3 times, and if I mess it up once, it's gonna lose a lot of time.
So this was one of the highlights that you pointed out as being the most important, or potentially the hardest. Do you have a backup plan if it goes wrong?
You have 3 shells in total, so if it goes wrong once, you can maybe back up with one of the other shells. I messed it up. I'll drive this lap the normal way. And then hopefully, I'll still have this red shell by the end, which I doubt. In case you want to do it all 3 laps, obviously the fastest, there's kind of no backup. You kind of just have to hope for an item maybe if you get lucky, but otherwise just drive the lap the normal way.
And what's the numbers game then, in terms of the RNG? Like, how likely is it that you actually get those shells in the first place?
2nd to 8th place, it's a 20% chance of 3 red shells, and you can't get in first place. So you usually do what's known as sandbagging, to kind of go in a bad spot on purpose.
What would be the worst item you could get then in this instance?
It would be the golden mushroom. Usually a welcomed item amongst the casual players. The problem is you can't throw it away immediately. You have to wait a set time. Obviously, speedrun's about having this item now. If you have to wait 5-10 seconds, and yeah, that's not really worth your time.
You seem so calm and relaxed. I think I could learn a lot from you, Stefan. Here in Speedrunners, we have the former world record holder, and he's racing against the clock. And at the moment, the world record belongs to Abney317. But the history of Mario Kart 64 is a long and winding racetrack. Speedrunning Mario Kart 64 dates all the way back to when the game was first published in 1996. But one of the first, more iconic speedruns in the with skips category was done in 2013 by a speedrunner called DNT N31.
3, 2, 1, go.
Securing his legendary 31 minutes and 29 seconds world record run, he exposed the blue shell glitch, sending him through the wall and skipping half the lap. The next runner to dominate the scene was Dotman1337, who in 2014 beat the world record by managing to pull off a whole new skip. In the last level, he fires a green shell into himself, knocking him over the barrier and past the finishing line, confusing the game and thereby skipping an entire lap. Dotman1337 held the record for almost a year, finishing at an impressive 28 minutes and 36 seconds. That was until Flippy O beat him with a 28-minute and 32-second run, but the record has since been beaten again by Abney317, holding the record today at an astonishing 25 minutes and 46 seconds. So speedrunners, of course, chase world records. You've already been there once. You're trying to get there again today.
Yeah.
But a lot of icons in the community. Is there anyone that really stands out for you when you joined speedrunning?
When I joined speedrunning, it was 2 people, one called Dotman1337 and one called Jonesy, Jones31. They were kind of the big people back then in speedrunning for Mario Kart. They were kind of the inventors of the category in a way. Besides that, an old player that I used to watch a long time ago as well, one called Shadow of Miles. And then the kind of the current world record, who's a big idol for me and a big friend, Abney317.
When you first got into speedrunning, what was it you took from their gameplay that you then pushed into your own?
Initially, it was kind of just you watch and you learn, and you just kind of try and execute. But as you go along the way, you kind of start to maybe write with each other, like, oh, how do you do this optimally? Do you have a specific angle you hold and stuff? The progress you make is kind of, it becomes a lot more you have to do along the way. It becomes a lot more of a tricky climb in that way.
Yeah, I can imagine it being pretty tricky, but it helps having people who have already found the glitches to maybe kind of slip you a note under the table and say, hey, this is how you actually get a fast time. Is there like a secret cult where you get some secret messages, or are all of these glitches public nowadays?
They're pretty much public. It used to kind of be this hush kind of thing. People thought it was kind of cool to find a glitch back in the day. Speedrunning has evolved a lot in the past 10 years. It's become more of a community effort. It's become more kind of acceptable in general and respectable to be someone who actually helps each other.
And I love that you guys can have that discussion as well. When we come back, we will see if Stefan can win back his world record and retake that throne. We're currently 9 tracks in out of the total 16 tracks to finish the game, and Stefan is running a bit behind his old record. There's still a handful of tricks left though, and we'll find out if there'll be enough for a new record when we return. ESL Speedrunners, classic games, crazy fast, and we're on Mario Kart 64 today, and Stefan has been hitting some solid glitches. You're watching Speedrunners, where you're going to witness the fastest gamers from across the land all coming here and trying to break a world record. And we have one of those people right here with me, Stefan, a former world record holder, of course. Now, the next highlight is something I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
But quickly, you are driving against traffic in it, something I would recommend for the viewers at home as well. Don't try this in real life. Let's take a look at your next couple of highlights.
So I'm gonna start driving backwards into this tunnel, and then I'll set up here by this white patch on the ground. And then I'll jump through the wall, cross the finish line, and then hit inside of the bounce here again. So I'm a whole lap ahead of the bots now, as you can see. You can see it again as I do it now. This is probably not good. Okay, it made it. Cool. So one more time, and that's the end of this track. Pretty much, I just have to drive across the finish line after that.
So how difficult is it to get that glitch right then? Because it looked pretty precise to me.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of precise. It takes a long time to get used to kind of where you have to stand, where you have to look, how you have to line up the kart, because it's about a lot of different factors. But honestly, when you're really used to it, if you spend a long time on this stage, it's not the hardest track in the game at all. It's just a really difficult trick still, because you have to do this. You can't do anything else. This is the only way to go fast, pretty much.
I bet with half of these tricks, you could probably do it with a blindfold, to be honest. You've done it so many times. How difficult, then, if we're going to go for the scale of difficulty in Mario Kart, is this compared to the Frappa Snowland glitch?
Well, compared to Frappa Snowland, I would say Frappa Snowland is a 2 out of 10, and this one maybe lies at around a 6 out of 10. Yeah.
You have to be very precise, but let's see how precise you can be in the final track then, as we move into the last highlight and see what your final time was.
So I'm gonna let Wario finish here. This is an alternative thing. Okay. You'll see. So this is intentional. I'm going 3rd place. Let's hope this works out. Please make it. Yeah, let's go. That's so good. That skipped such a huge chunk of the level, and it looks really cool. I'm so happy I got that here.
You seem pretty excited about performing that glitch in particular.
Yeah.
What was so exciting? Was it because it was a marathon run, because it was a live run, or do you very rarely see that happen?
It's what you say. It's because it's live, but it's definitely also, like you saw, I kind of let Wario finish in 1st place. It's a manipulation of the AI, putting them in the spot that you want them, and that doesn't always happen. It kind of depends on the randomness of the karts. Do they drive fast enough to beat you? Which is this thing called rubber banding, where the further you are ahead, the faster they drive. Beyond that, it's also kind of a tricky turn. I've missed the rope many times, kind of jumping over it. So this is definitely more like an 8 out of 10 on the difficulty scale at that point.
All right, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to a 9 eventually. Would you say that this is really important to game time somewhere? Did we see this glitch being performed by Abney in his world record?
Yeah, well, the way that Abney does it is kind of a little bit of a faster way, but it's way more risky, where you don't even go in 3rd place. You kind of start at the starting line and you drive back and bounce into the AI with the speed you have. It looks insane, and it's really, really difficult to pull off as well. I need to get a green shell here. Nice. That's about a 30% chance, I think, 35. So they're really common, but I need these. So I'm now a whole lap ahead, and I can do this one more time, and then it should pretty much be done with the run.
And were you happy with your final time then?
Yeah, I was definitely very happy. I mean, it wasn't a world record, sadly, but I executed a lot of the things that I was afraid that might go wrong. Some of these frame-perfect things, the 130-second tricks, and I got some good randomness or some good RNG in some of the items, and I did pretty well. I made some crucial mistakes that cost me a bit of extra time, but I could have maybe beaten my own personal best and done a lot better than that, yeah.
Yeah, you were very close to that personal best, and for a live run, for a marathon run, it was definitely a run that was very successful. Is that your best marathon run that you've done?
It actually is, yeah. I've done maybe 4 in the past, I think, and all have been about 30 to 32 minutes. This one was below 30 minutes, so I'm, in that sense, also really happy about the result.
So we kind of broke a record.
Yeah, in that sense, definitely broke a record.
Well, there we go then. We broke a record today. I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm definitely happy, yeah.
We're both happy. And today in Speedrunners, we saw Stefan, of course, race around 16 different tracks, chasing the world record, or at least his personal record. But next week, we will have another game, and we will try to beat it again. Remember, you can chase glory and records too. It requires a console and a lot of dedication. We'll see you next time.